Hi, this is Luke for Tranquility Base Detailing. Welcome to Detailing Basics. This episode is how to clay your paintwork. So, what is claying your paintwork? Clay is essentially a form of mechanical cleaning for your paintwork. By mechanical, we mean we're not using any chemicals in terms of tar removers or iron fallout removers. We'll review those all in a different video. Clay physically is going to glide across the paintwork, it's going to pick up the bonded contaminants on the paintwork, and it's going to leave you with a lovely, smooth, almost glass-like finish on your paint, which is perfect for taking it on to the next step of your detailing. Claying as a step, many years ago, for me, it was the first step I took where it really felt like more than just keeping my car clean. I used to wash the car, keep it well maintained on a weekly basis. Learned about claying, went out. The first clay kit I ever owned was the Meguiar's Quick Clay Kit. It's perfect as a starter kit. However, now that I'm into detailing more, I have other preferences. In this particular case, I'm using the Wowo Claybar, and I'm using Dodo Juice's clay lubricant. As a package goes, the lubricant that you can buy, dilute down, is far cheaper than the quick detailer that was in the Meguiar's kit. And the clay itself, you're basically going to find that you've got a lot of choice of clay bars, and even leading into clay cloths, clay towels, clay mitts. They have, with the clay bars, different firmnesses of clay. Now, there are pluses and negatives of both. If you're on a very hot day and using a very soft clay, as it gets hotter with the warmth of the panel, it's going to get even more soft, and that's going to cause you difficulty with working. So you'd want a firmer clay to start with to compensate for that heat. The downside of that is you're going to have to remold the clay after every panel just to get all the contaminants folded in, out of harm's way. And the firmer the clay is, the harder that's going to be. So you need to find a trade-off. The Wowo is a nice consistency. I found it very easy to use. Yes, if it was the middle of July and the sun was beating down this panel, it might be a little bit too soft, but you're going to know once you get into claying what you're getting into, and experience will give you that. In terms of the process itself, so I never use the full clay bar, I always take a section away. Use a lot of lubrication. Lubrication is very cheap. You want to just run the clay, and as you can see, it's underneath my fingertips here, over the paintwork, really with no pressure. You're going to feel through your fingertips, and it's going to give you that feedback that the paintwork is getting cleaner. The paintwork goes from feeling quite rough to feeling smoother as you pass over it, and that's just going to happen with these gentle back and forth passes that you can see me making here. As and when you get to a point of the clay being saturated, you need to be mindful that you're not working a big area with these. You're going to massage the clay back into a clean section. I'll show you at the end of the video what that looks like. Other things to be mindful of. Clay will remove tar. On this particular panel, the car was black. I did miss a tar spot at the bottom of the wing. I could have worked it all day long with the clay, but it was so much faster. Once I'd finished with this, I went back with a tar remover, used that. Sometimes with detailing, it's not a case of working harder, you need to work smarter, and there are dedicated products for different jobs. Although there is some overlap here, the clay is great picking up very small tar spots, but I'm not going to use it to remove half a road from the bottom of the wing, so you need to make sure that you're using the right tool for the right job. It's just going to make your life easier, and ultimately the detailing is going to be much more enjoyable because you're not flogging a dead donkey, so to speak. A few basic rules, and these are things that really should adhere to. One with detailing in general, and the other is just smart practice. You'll notice I'm wearing gloves. You're going to be using a lot of chemicals with detailing, so protect your hands. You don't want to be using certain acids, alkaline solvents, things like that that are going to cause potentially irritation to your skin when gloves, very cheap. The second one is if you drop your clay bar, throw it immediately in the bin. Whatever it's landed in, it's going to have picked some of that up. There's no point trying to pick the grit out of it. Throw that piece away. Ultimately, clay is cheap, paintwork is not. If you put a big gouge through your paintwork, you're going to have to look at getting that repaired. That costs money. The clay bars are cheap in comparison. Here we are. You can see in that shot there, I've picked up a lot of contamination from the paintwork. You can see you get the visual feedback as well as the tactile one. It's telling you that the clay is ready to be folded into a new form, and then you're going to move on to the next panel. Here you can see I'm just rinsing away the lubrication that I've got on the paintwork. It's very mindful, again, just smart practice. You don't want to let that dry in the paintwork. You're just causing more work for yourself down the line. So keep an eye on the panel as you go. Look back on where you've been. Is the lubrication drying? If it is, no harm just coming and rinsing it off. Of course, if you are going to use, for example, the Maguire's kit that has the quick detailer, you just use your microfiber cloth and dry away what's there. That's designed to be wiped away, whereas the lubrication I'm using is better to just rinse it away instead. Here we are. This is essentially me just folding the clay into a new piece. You see that all the brown surface that we've used to clay that wing is going inside. Mold it into a new piece, squeeze it down, and then I'm going to rework it just to cover the pads for my fingertips again, and then we're going to move on. Ultimately, as far as claying goes, I hope you give it a go. I hope you try it. You'll find it incredibly rewarding. It's going to make the steps that follow it far easier. Even if you just drop from here straight onto waxing, you use less wax, the panel's not grabby. Polishing is easier. Ultimately, as you get into your detailing, and we'll go through this in other videos, each step is going to work in tandem with the one that comes after it, the one that comes before it. So if you get the claying right, it's going to get you the better finish, the better end result. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Any comments or questions, please leave them below. Take care.